for today's cup of coffee, we have a cryptid that's a more recent one, or at least has come into my knowledge more recently. And this comes from cryptidsfandom.com again, and the link will be in the description box. This is the Fresno Nightcrawler. And it evermore looks like one of the creatures that was featured in Dr. Seuss's Halloween Night is Grinch Night.
It looks like a pair of pants.
When the kid...
It's the Bratz pants over there.
When the kid was put in the Grinch's, I don't know.
Sack.
Well, it wasn't a sack. It was like a circus.
It was like a circus carriage.
Yes. And it looked like a bad acid trip. It really
was
did.
a bad acid trip.
I suspect Dr. Seuss had, a little bit of a creative endeavor going on some of this. He also hated children. He did. He did not like children.
Children.
Which is one more of life's ironies.
So then, was his books for children, or were they not for children?
That's a good question. I really don't know. I don't know. It's nonsense. Even adults need nonsense from time to time.
Alice in Wonderland, that certainly was not a children's book.
No. And it's just like about the Jabberwocky and stuff. It was all nonsense.
That was Through the Looking Glass.
It was still Lewis Carroll.
Yeah, it was a derivative. It was the second book from the Alice series.
But no,
it was a really good book, too.
And as far as people trying to do these deep meanings, no, it was nonsense.
Literally. He literally made up words for the books.
Yeah. And I think there was some political commentary and stuff that was veiled in there. There usually is.
Yeah.
So, which has nothing to do with the Fresno Nightcrawler. Again, remember, now this is California. Those of you in California, I'm not picking on you. But now let's face it.
We're sorry.
I guess it's just that it's a larger state that it has. And I think it gets a whole lot more publicity than some of the other states.
Well, it's basically one huge city.
Pretty much. I think Northern California is not so much. It's more people think of, L.A. and San Francisco.
Hollywood.
And different things like that when they think California because of all the advertising. It's just like our part of the state. Our state line stops at Roanoke. We need to have our own separate state.
I wouldn't mind, visiting, for a week, maybe. Or
California, parts of California?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
I definitely would not want to live there, just visit.
At this point,
No, when it calms down.
Right, if it was someplace like Orange County, I've heard that's pretty good, and like I said, some of the areas in Northern California.
That's where Gwen Stefani is from, Orange County.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
That's where Leo King, he's there in Orange County, and he speaks very highly of it.
Mm-hmm. She's probably one of the least problematic, even though people say that she's problematic because cultural appropriation.
Oh my God, I am so sick of the PC bullshit, and I think everybody else is sick of it.
Seriously, she doesn't get into any political commentary, nothing like that. She's the least problematic.
If you want to have some of the least problematic, go to some of these towns that are not mentioned widely and just talk to the people. Not these teeny tiny ones where people will look at you funny. But
not like our town.
No, I mean, seriously, if anybody wanted to come to our area and visit, we could meet them at a McDonald's, have a cup of coffee, different things like that. That wouldn't be a hardship at all.
There ain't a McDonald's in our town. We'd have to go 30 minutes down.
No, it's not 30 minutes.
20 minutes.
Probably done. Well, 15, 20. But anyhow, not everybody in our region is odd. They look at us funny because even within our tiny community, we don't get out.
I'm so sorry.
I raised him better than that. I
didn't expect that one to come out. I am so sorry.
Anyhow, he's responsible for himself. He's an adult. Now, the Fresno Nightcrawler is also known as the Fresno Alien. It's a cryptid that has made 2 appearances so far, one in Fresno, California, and the other in Yosemite National Park, which is also in California. In both sightings, it's only seen in video footage. However, a man in Poland, we were talking about that area, so my brain kicked in Poland has also claimed to have seen the creature.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing the video. I think it was the very first video that they caught this on camera.
Right.
And it was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed watching the video because it was something new. It was something different.
Right.
It was really cool. It literally looked like these white pants, like, gliding across long steps, like across the land.
Disco type pants.
No. Like think like skinny jeans.
That's
like
more fun.
White skinny jeans.
I don't know. Anyhow, it says the witness, a 60-year-old former Marine, and his wife were driving near Carmel on December the 12th, 2014, when they came up over a hill and saw a 7-foot tall, slender, gray creature, which is now known as the Carmel area creature. It says the unnamed witness said the following, quote, "We recently bought a place in the Fort Hill area in southeast Highland County. We first noticed after about 30 days of living here that we suddenly have a perfect circle that stays fresh green no matter what weather in our front yard. On Friday night, the 12th, we were driving home. After turning on Carmel Road, which leads to our road, we went around the curve to the Carmel church and then up a small incline and with approximately 10 foot over the incline, and in front of our truck, the alien ran across the road and into the woods," end quote. There may have been possible sightings of the Nightcrawler in the form of the Carmel area creature, a thin, armless, pale white humanoid creature seen in Ohio.
Really?
So is this apparently this is a new thing.
Yeah.
Wonder if that was after they had relaxed the regulations on making the chimeras.
Now explain to me.
Oh yeah, we actually
relaxing of the chimeras. What?
Oh, as far as the regulations, as far as labs creating chimeras, we did cover that, but it's been a while back. Mm-hmm. So if we need to do a revisit, we may do that one later. But yes, as far as these labs, it wasn't that they weren't creating things. It's just, and going against the law, it's just that now the law allows them to create things and you know.
I don't think these would fall into chimeras because they're not, to my knowledge, they're not harmful. They're just
Well, chimera
walkers.
doesn't mean that it's necessarily harmful. It's just a creature where it has been gene spliced and stuff to where it should not be. It is a total man-made something.
It literally looks like a pair of pants with like this rounded top.
It would be interesting. And it says the creature has also been spotted in Yosemite, where footage was again taken from what appears to be another security camera. This time there were 2 creatures, one very small, less than 0.5 meters, and the feet of the creature can be clearly seen, as well as what appears to be some sort of webbing connecting the knees to the upper body.
Do those hey honey, do those legs go up all the way? Oh, why yes, they do.
That's it. And it says the cryptid has also been videotaped in Poland, this time from what appears to be a handheld camera, judging from the shakiness of the footage. The creature cannot be seen for too long, but appears to have similar traits to the larger one taped in Yosemite. So it's becoming a thing. Mm-hmm. A trend.
I wouldn't mind seeing them.
I don't know. I think on any of these things, it's the startle more than it is the actual being.
Yeah, it's like seriously, it's shock.
Sure, because your brain is trying to wrap itself around, okay, this is not part of my current world. This is shaking my paradigm.
It's completely unearthly.
Yeah.
It's beyond anything that we could like fathom.
Inchworm.
Being real.
In some ways, how I'm looking at it is almost like an inchworm, only big and pale.
Well, they don't walk like inchworms.
Well, I know they don't walk like it, but you know how an inchworm, when it's got the hump in the middle,
Yes.
and then it looks like little feet on the side, and then it flattens itself out to. But there is a point that from the drawings and the pictures and stuff that I saw, and it's like, looks like some form of an inchworm.
I would think.
Only big.
People don't know, well, most people don't know what caterpillars look like in the cocoon.
Right.
And so, like, I've watched a bunch of people on TikTok, and they've had to do emergency surgery for some of their moths or whatever,
Right.
because that's what those worms are.
Right.
Or those little caterpillars. And they look completely freakish, like they should not belong on this
Right.
world, but they do.
Sure.
It's just not meant to be seen with the human eyes.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of things that when they are in the transformation process do not look like the final product. I'm
Trust
hoping
the
that
process.
I am hoping that's what happens with humanity. That we are not the final product.
All artists' tips: trust the process; it will work out in the end.
Well, yeah.
For the most part.
Now, there are some people that are looking for explanations of what this thing could be, and some of them think it's an alien or extraterrestrial being. Some think it's a new species, possibly a primate with short arms, a misidentified deer standing upright. I can't see that one even being feasible. Pants and or a puppet on a wire.
Pants.
See, there you go. A bird walking like a crane. No, you could see that.
No. They just had multiple pairs of Bratz doll pants. It was just like
Yeah.
little stop motion not animatronics, armatures in them and just walking them.
And one of them says that it could be a person wearing big pants and walking on stilts.
No.
Maybe. I can't see it moving. I mean,
where the torso would be, that's too short.
right.
There's no way for the legs. Seriously.
I don't know. It says that the Fresno Nightcrawlers appear to be relatively short creatures, approximately 1.5 meters, with most of their height being made up of their legs and an extremely small upper body. It's hard to find details on the upper body of the cryptid due to the poor quality of the footage. It is an extremely thin, white humanoid with no discernible arms. Is it really humanoid? Could you really put it in the category of humanoid?
It looks like a pair of legs.
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right. A larger specimen appears to have webbing connected from the knee to the torso, and the cryptids appear to have very short, thin, and stilt-like feet. It's hard to judge the exact characteristics of the cryptids in the footage due to poor quality. The Carmel area creature is tall and gray with presumably no arms and long muscular legs. It is bipedal and walks in an odd manner with its backward bending knees. And it resembles
Like
the Fresno Nightcrawler. Well, most birds have backward bending knees. So,
Okay.
I didn't...
It took me a moment to process that. I'm like, do most birds have backward bending knees?
Yeah, that's how they perch on the wires and stuff like that.
Okay.
I mean, it looks like with no upper body, much anything, that balance would be an issue for it.
Yeah.
Maybe you could just, instead of cow tipping, you could do nightcrawler tipping.
Well,
Around here, a nightcrawler is something you go fishing with, by the way.
it's not possible to actually tip a cow.
I've heard people doing it, but anyhow.
It's not possible.
All right, it says, while there have been claims that the nightcrawlers are part of a Native American folklore in the region, this has been debunked. The first sighting of a Fresno Nightcrawler happened in Fresno, California by a man named Jose. After being woken up by his barking dogs, Jose observed the Nightcrawlers on his front lawn through CCTV. He woke up his brother to rewatch the footage. After his brother claimed to have seen small footprints outside, but by the time investigators made it to the site, all evidence was washed away. I don't know if it rained or if the wind was blowing, if it was in sandy soil or something like that. But that could have happened.
Yeah.
At least they called investigators, so that gives it some credence right there. Mm-hmm. Now, this was what I thought was odd. It says, after the initial sighting, the original CCTV footage was lost. That's always convenient.
I was about to say that is...
And the only remaining footage is a grainy video recorded from a monitor. Jose had a surveillance camera watching his front lawn and looked at the camera when he heard a dog barking.
No. That's not the only footage that exists.
Well, that's what it said, the first sighting.
Oh, okay.
All right, and then it says the Fresno Nightcrawler is most known for being one of the 2 featured video cases on the second episode of Sci-Fi's Fact or Faked Paranormal Files.
I think that show got discontinued.
Or
got canceled at some point.
I've not watched any of that stuff in years. The team deemed the Nightcrawler unexplainable. It is also now considered a fun urban legend or an endearing addition to pop culture. And as far as hoaxes, some of the sightings are actually a pair of white pants being puppeteered. And the alleyway gif of the Fresno Nightcrawler was created by YouTuber Captain Disillusion by walking down an alleyway with a melon. I don't know where that worked in. And then using digital manipulation to remove the top half of his body. His purpose to demonstrate how easily videos of cryptids can be falsified. Now, I'm not familiar with Captain Disillusion, but I may have to go and look at his channel after this.
Yeah, what kind of melon? Was it a watermelon?
I don't know.
Was it a honeydew?
What was the purpose of the melon?
Was it a durian?
I don't know.
We need to get a durian one day.
No, I don't think so. And
those aren't the stinky ones.
Oh, those not? Okay. So, and that is one of the problems. We have the technology today to do wonderful things, and some things not so wonderful.
Yeah.
And it does make it damnably hard for the people who truly are cryptid investigators to separate fact from fiction. It also makes it really hard on the people who have had cryptid sightings.
Well, it's extremely difficult for people who don't have the technology to figure out if it has been spliced or not.
Right.
If it has been, like, any sort of editing in any single way.
Right.
And with modern technology, that makes it even more difficult.
Sure. And it's like, are there more urban legends, or is it the fact that people do have the technology to catch things that before would not have been seen or would have been believed or anything like that? Could be a combination.
Well, that's like people using Polaroid cameras to capture ghosts.
Right.
So.
Well, I don't know. I had a double exposure on a Polaroid one time, which was very rare.
Mm-hmm. I caught orbs on a digital camera one time, and then it deleted itself.
Really?
It was down at Nana's. It was down at Nana's, and there were 3 orbs.
Where? Was it in the house or in the yard?
It was in the house.
That doesn't surprise me.
And it, like, I was going to put that on my computer. I was like, I was probably like 13 at the time.
Right.
But I remember this vividly because it freaked my shit out. Because I was like, I never had that happen to me before.
I told you.
It was like, ooh, I got footage of a ghost, man. And I went to, like, go view it on my camera again. Gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
That's not surprising. And this is one of the frustrating things, because when you see things and then you tell other people and they're like, oh, okay, I believe you. And then they have an experience and they're like, oh, wow, this is real. No shit.
I caught orbs out on the porch too down there. And that the same thing happened. Gone. And, like, I could tell the difference between bugs being blurred out by the camera and actual orbs. These were legitimate orbs, although it was like only like 2 this time.
Right.
It was either 1 or 2. I don't remember. It was so long ago. But, like, that does not explain how they deleted themselves off the camera.
Hey, whatever is in her house, that damn thing had tormented me from the time I was a small child.
It freaked my shit out. You know that add-on part of the room?
Yeah.
Seriously, I hated looking in there at night.
Yeah.
Hated it.
I don't know. The last massive was when the thing opened the door and then closed the door back. That was kind of creepy.
That was when Myrtle was alive. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's safe to say her name because we're not saying her last name. There are thousands. There are thousands of people named Myrtle.
It was 90-some-year-old great aunt was who it was.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was kind of freaky, and it was just like, oh, okay, that's what that is. Because I don't know if it's a matter of becoming desensitized to it. It's just like, oh, okay.
I wonder if it was something that was already on the property prior to, or if they somehow
it could be both, because I kept from the time I was a small child. Because I am as I am, and always was. I would sit there and go, somebody died in this house. And they're like, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. Yes, they did.
There was one time that I was sitting at the computer and I swore I saw like a shadow, something in the... It was in the living room part, not where the computer was. It was not that doorway, but the other doorway. Right. You know what I'm talking about. And I swear it was like peering in, and I thought that it was Nana. And so I like stayed there. I was still doing my homeschooling shit at the time. And eventually I looked back, because it was there the whole time in my peripheral vision. And so I looked over there and I was going to be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Gone.
Well, now there is a shadow being in there in addition to whatever else. So the spirit, it was interesting. That was the one where my father was asleep and he thought that Mom had crawled in the bed behind him. And he reached over there and there was no one.
One of the main paranormal things that happened to me here in our house was when I was still in that room that used to be my brother's.
Right.
It was right after Shadow died. And so I was laying there, I was crying, and I felt one of the cats. It felt like one of the cats crawling up behind me, and it snuggled up my back. And so I reached back, nothing was there. It was shy. It was Shadow.
I have no doubt.
Or something like that.
There's been times when I've been in
No,
there.
no, my bad. It's not Shadow, because I don't know what happened to Shadow. He disappeared. Spleen.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you had pancreas and spleen. You can live without your spleen, but you can't live without your pancreas. But yeah, there's been times when I have thought there's cats in there in the bedroom and no cats. Because it's unusual when there are not cats.
I'm fine with that.
I don't have a problem with it.
Because it's like, well, you're coming to visit me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. So as far as the pants walking by themselves, and anybody who grew up with Jimmy Neutron.
The first episode.
Yes. And the folding and the hanging.
Folding and hanging.
Carl was a great character. If you never got to watch Jimmy Neutron, that's got to be on the internet somewhere. Go back and watch that, because it was really a cool show.
Yes. Are you going to finish that croissant? Croissant.
So if you've had experiences with the paranormal, supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, including the walking pants, the night crawlers, not the kind that you go fishing with.
No.
I like those. I'm very familiar with those. If you've got
those crawdads.
Yeah, if you've got local, regional, family, myths, legends, what have you, send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. And the email address is there in the description box if you can't remember it. Know that you're loved. Know that there's things that we have not yet discovered. Don't let people dissuade you from seeing. No one, that you experienced what you experienced or saw what you saw.
Look to the skies.
Oh, yeah. I'm expecting Project Bluebeam. I really am.
Hence the look to the skies.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all. Have a good and eat a lovely piece of watermelon.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the next cup. Bye.
Bye.